88. Let's get it, everybody. Let's have that conversation. We are going to have a conversation. Oh, God, I needed that rest. So, where is Nancy Guthrie? Back to the beginning, but we want to have a conversation right now about literally some videos that have just come out by other streamers, and we want to talk about some of these things because they're important. Everybody has an important take when it comes to what's going on and where's Nancy Guthrie, because that's what people who want justice for Nancy, that's what we expect, is people to come out and give your best. So with that, let's make it happen. Come on, all you devil pups, let's have that conversation. This ought to be a good one. Paige, Emperor 5, Paige, good to have you. Oh, I needed that rest, no doubt. Amen. Where's all the devil pups? Let's have that conversation. This is going to be a good one. I feel it in my bones. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, I'm stealing that line from Matthew McConaughey because I like it. Oh, it's right. Yeah, it is kind of a little bit out here as well, no doubt. Maybe that's why I needed the rest. Well, we got a good show today. We got a very good live today. It's going to be a good one. So where is everybody at? I have some hearsay from Sleuth's chatter earlier. Awesome, awesome. All news is good news. We just got to go ahead and make sure we have some information that is valid or it's quoted from others. No doubt about it. I'm interested and can't wait to hear what you got, Paige. Everybody, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about where is Nancy Guthrie. Let's talk about the conversations that were had here over the weekend on some other streamers' accounts so that we can talk about, some of the things they said because I learned a lot. I learned a lot of what's going on, and it's very impressive. So with that, let's just get started. So I watched the interview room, everybody. I watched the interview room today. And by the suggestion of a lot of devil pups, that they had Sergeant Cross on, who works at Pima County Sheriff's Office. I believe he's still there. And they were asking him questions about the case, which was very interesting. Very interesting. In more ways than one, to be honest. So, I did not know. I remember I used to tell you all, hey, Mary, Mary, good to have you. Hello, hello. So I used to tell you guys that normally in sheriff's departments, the rank and file is not really like, they usually have some longevity, experience. And I was telling you it was kind of like 2 to 4 years, right? Longevity. And the reality is it's even less than that. So apparently they have about 192 street officers, what you would call beat officers, what you would call deputies in Pima County Sheriff's Office in Tucson. And out of that, hearing Sergeant Cross talk on the interview room, which was amazing. Bridget, good evening, everyone. When hearing Sergeant Cross from Pima County talk to the interview room, I believe the names were Karen and her husband. They were talking and they were asking him literally what was going on in Pima County. And he said, and this would really shock me, he said, when you get a call from Pima County Sheriff's Office somewhere, anywhere, it's almost a high probability, like an 80% or somewhere in there, he was saying, a high percentage that he was saying, Nina's in the house. Good to have you, Nina. He was saying that it's a high probability that you're going to get an officer who has about 10 months experience only. Think about that for a minute. When you call the sheriff's department, he was saying that for the amount of officers they have, you are probably going to get somebody with 10 months experience only. That's the length, not 10 years. As I was saying, it was about a 2 to 4 year, right? 2 to 4 years of experience that you're going to get, which is still young. Tegan's in the house. Mary, dislike 500%. But if you call, you are probably going to get a deputy to respond with probably about a 10-month experience. Folks, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's about the length of some places where you go to the academy, and probably less than some places you would go to the academy. No doubt. Young pup deputy says Pace. No doubt. No doubt. Tegan's in the house. Babies, little puppies, literally. And it's not their fault. Don't misunderstand me. It's not their fault. Okay? They're not the ones. They're coming into the law enforcement because they chose that career. Okay? Carolina's girls in the house. How are you? But really, to think about it, when you stop and think about it, 10 months. So you get a burglary call. You get a suspicious person call. You get any type of call, and you are going to get an officer, a deputy, because that's what they call the law enforcement in a sheriff's department is deputies. Okay? You are going to get about a 10-month experienced officer. Folks, that's nothing. I'm just being honest. Not their fault. No disrespect to the deputies, but the reality is that the experience matters. You gotta have experience. And then when you think about it and you find out Falls is in the house. Good to have you, Falls. When you find out that 10-month experience, literally, that 10-month experience is probably going to be somebody that's going to be handling a Nancy Guthrie case. Think about that for a minute. Then, on top of that, JTB's in the house. How you doing, JTB? Good to have you. Think about this for a minute. 10-month experience, okay, in Pima County Sheriff's Department. And not only that, but the fact that who are going to be the people that are going to be working the case? How many experience are they going to have? How much time? How much longevity? How much experience are they going to have to literally handle this case? Carolina Girl says, that's scary. Very. If you know anything about law enforcement, that is scary. I'm telling you. It's one thing to be in a little small department. That's one thing. But if you're in a big area and you're covering ground like usually sheriff's departments do, and especially in big cities, thank you, Mary. When you experience that, you're going to get basically what you pay for, right? It's that old saying, you get what you pay for. Buy a shitty pizza, get a shitty pizza. Okay? When you go and you literally... Give me 1 second, everybody. Thank you, babe. Tell me what you think. I will. Love you. When you go ahead... My daughter just brought me some chocolate chip cookies. Look at that. Fresh. Soft. Just came out of the oven. Okay, so... Maria, if low experience is normal in USA, no, not at all. I mean, you're always going to have that transition, right? You're always going to have those years where you got a lot of people that are retiring, so you got to replenish that, right? But the departments, usually the chiefs of departments or sheriffs of their deputies, the departments of the sheriff's departments, they're all going to be like going ahead. They're going to request, they're going to tell their council, we need to hire more deputies. we're low on this count. You know, every place is allotted X amount of people, right? Positions. And when you're below that and you know you need more people and you know people are retiring, you start planning ahead and you start bringing people in and you get them seasoned and people will retire. So it's kind of like a revolving circle, if you will. Okay, so that's not everybody. Got milk, you got it. Saw the cookies, no doubt. Arizona, saw that, no doubt. So that's what we're saying. That's what they're saying. That we're going to have literally, I mean, literally 10 months experience for law enforcement officers. Man, that's not a lot. And that would explain a lot. I don't want to say mistakes because they're learning, but you don't learn a case like this. You don't put anybody learning a case, learning how to handle something as big as this, right? It just doesn't happen. You just don't do it. This is not a case where you would go, hey, let's go ahead and this will be a good learning thing. No, no. This is a high profile case. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. Here's the cookie. Fresh, soft, just the way I like it. So, the idea, literally, now think about this, that they're going to give somebody with not a whole lot of experience the idea to literally go ahead and run a case like this is absurd. You know, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, so jelly here. You got it, Arizona. No doubt. So, in my experience, just my experience, from the get go, they should have called the FBI and had them help with this case big time. They should have hugged every department close to them and tried to see if they could spare some knowledge to help them with this case. It should have never been an Eagle thing. It should have never been a we can handle it, we got it under control. No, should have never been that. It should have been always for the victim at hand. You got to respect your experience, no doubt about it. And that's what I think was a big, I would say probably 75 to 80% of the downfall of what we saw and what we're seeing right now. It's just my opinion. But I know I'm not far off. Now, here's the thing. 10 months, you're going to have an officer roughly in that neighborhood. He could have a year, 2 years experience, or he could have less than that. Matt Fall says Numbnut should have called the feds in it. Oh, absolutely. It should have been a no-brainer. No-brainer. Thank you, Pay. Appreciate that. But here's the thing. The idea that they didn't want any help. They didn't want anybody searching. Well, what the hell do your people know, especially if they're that young? And I'm not blaming the deputies. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not blaming the officers. They're just, hey, everybody's got to start somewhere. Okay? Everybody's got to start somewhere. But everything happens in baby steps. Okay? Everything happens in increments. Okay? You don't just take a person, I don't care if they just got out of the academy, and thrust them into a big situation like this. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous, period. Full stop. So the idea that they're going to go ahead and do this and then wonder why things are not going well, it's pretty damn obvious. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? It's just so pathetic as far as I'm telling you. It's pathetic, in my opinion. 10 months is the average. And that came from Sergeant Cross from the interview he did literally on the interview room. And I did watch that. And thank you for all you who suggested that, because that was very, very informational. And that's a lot what we're going to try to get into through the weeds. Arizona, it's deep, so I will be present here for the watch. Hours in. Hit that like button. Let's make it happen, everybody, says Arizona. Fam Flowers in the house. Good to have you. You are so right. Go Devil Dog. Thank you, Fam Flower. Appreciate you. If you are new, join, click like, subscribe for free. Doesn't cost you anything. Let's make it happen and click them like buttons for me. Thank you so much. Did you see, Paul says, did you see where they had been working with A&E on reality show called Desert Law? I caught a little bit, but really I want to stay focused on this because this is so crucial. So they literally handled this case that they weren't ready for. This was definitely something they were not ready for, everybody. I can tell you that right now. Just by hearing the experience, they weren't ready for this case. And everybody, they should have called the FBI and their fellow law enforcement agencies nearby, and see if they could help out, because I guarantee you they probably would have had a hell of a lot more people with that type of knowledge. Now, one of the things that they pointed out, or one of the things that Sergeant Cross had said, and it resonated with me a lot because I did hear this before. When you go to classes, right, because you got to take a lot of classes and you got to take a lot of training. Did you catch a little? I couldn't even do a little. It was boring. Hearsay that Luke was driving the Charger and walked home on no police report. Hearsay. Yes, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, we're not even there yet, but yeah, you're right. You're right. That's hearsay where Paige has heard that Luke Daly was driving the Charger and that he, I guess, crashed it and then walked home. There was no police report. Yeah. But here's the thing, everybody. So, Sergeant Cross, and you have to really understand this. When I heard him say, when you go to training in other like, from all these different officers in different police departments and different sheriff's departments, they all come together for certain training, whether it's how to handle a domestic, how to handle a kidnapping, how to handle a burglary, robbery, how to handle a murder, all those things, right? A shooting, how to secure the crime scene, how to do all that kind of stuff, right? You got to take a lot of classes, updated classes, okay, training classes, to keep your certification active and to also learn a lot of knowledge that's out there. But when you do that, you come across all these other agencies, and they'll usually tell you, hey, just stand up and give your name and where you're from, what agency you represent. So you stand up and say, I'm so-and-so, and I represent so-and-so department. Glad you're here. Next person, I'm so-and-so, and I represent. And Sergeant Cross said, you could get an ear, and I'm going to paraphrase this, okay? You could get that feeling inside when you had to stand up and say, oh, I'm from so-and-so, and I am, I'm from so-and-so, and I work at such and such department. And everybody kind of puts their head down like, oh, God, one of them. Yeah, he didn't say it just like that, but I'm telling you, it is exactly like that. So the idea that they are literally very inexperienced, and it resonates around the whole area that you work around, the whole communities and everything. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you're looked at as not as equipped as other departments. Let's just say, for a better lack of words. Take cleaning houses, says Paige. First cleaning takes 4 hours. After 3 more times cleaning houses, more times cleaning same houses, work takes 2 hours. Absolutely. Experience is vital. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. And so just the idea that the earth feeling inside, like I represent this, this community, or I represent this police department or this sheriff's department. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And I say that because I've seen other agencies do the same thing. I have seen it. And I know exactly where Sergeant Cross is coming from. And no, he's not answering calls. He's not answering calls. Okay? But the reality is, what he's saying is that there is a lot of lack of experience. You're looking at a 10-month officer responding to your call. Thank you, April. Appreciate you. So, it was very interesting. Then they went into the Nanos responses on a lot of his responses that he had to the council about he had to respond to a lot of these questions. And one of the things that bothered me, I mean, there was a lot in there. And I'll be honest and frank. I'm not gonna bullshit you, and you all know I'm gonna tell you how I see it. But I can tell you this: I don't know how Nanos got that job as a sheriff in Pima County Sheriff's Office. Just being honest with y'all, I don't know how in the hell he was able to slip through the cracks and get that job, because the reality is that he had, and they went over this on the interview room, and this is all based on their conversation along with Sergeant Cross, who works there at Pima County as a sergeant. Gronsky's in the house. The idea, literally, that he had from the time he started in 79 to I believe 84, 6 years working for El Paso PD, Nanos had 8 literally suspensions. According to, and I think I got that right, according to the commentary by the interview room and Sergeant Krause, who works there. They had 8 suspensions. Some for just not showing up for work. They would suspend him for a day. A state firm they record so far show more positive for Nanos. He worked February 1976 to 82. Yes. Okay. But the idea that literally he wouldn't show up for work at times and not call in. So he'd get written up. They tell him not to do it again. He'd do it again. I have no idea how he even got this job. And then the idea that literally that he had a 15-day suspension for use of force, excessive use of force, with a person who was handcuffed and being arrested, sent him to the hospital, had lacerations to his head, and long story short, filed a lawsuit, and yada, yada, yada. There was so many. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it because it is so detailed. And I don't want to misjudge or mischaracter anything. So I'm telling you, watch it and you'll understand why I am so jaw dropped at literally Nanos getting that position as the sheriff's department. When honestly, in my opinion, I don't know anybody that would have got that position with having the record that he has. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. But then one of the things that they had asked was, why was the background, the background of Nanos, why did he not disclose if he ever got suspended? Which when they asked him, he said no on his application. But the reality is, oh yeah, he got suspended many times. Well, his attorney had said something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing here, it was just he thought that they were talking about just he thought they were just talking about the Pima County Sheriff's Office and not everywhere in Arizona. That's the argument. I don't know how that's going to fly, folks, but I'm telling you, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. In other words, they were saying how he would always, Sergeant Cross he was saying that he would always seem to be putting the blame on the lesser officer or somebody else rather than taking responsibility for his own actions. And I can tell you that that's kind of what I see with how this case has been handled. Very sloppy, very messy, with no accountability. And that's why we're not getting anything in here, in all honesty. Yeah, I'm sure things were overlooked, no doubt about it, Gronsky. Are you defending Nanos? No, I'm not defending Nanos. I'm telling you, no, I'm not defending Nanos. I'm saying contrary, the opposite. How in the hell did he become sheriff, literally, when he went ahead and had 8? Now think about this: 8, literally 8, as they would call them, vacation days, but they weren't vacation days. They were literally suspension day. 8 times he was suspended for a total, I believe it was 37 days in 6 years. That means every year, in maybe 2 months, maybe even 3 months, you could count on him being suspended at least one day up to 15 days. That's just ridiculous, folks. So you're going to have an officer on the street when he was working with El Paso PD. You're going to have an officer that every year in 2 months or every year in 3 months, you're going to have an officer who's going to be suspended for a minimum of one day all the way up to 15 days. You can count on that. That was his track record in his first 6 years in law enforcement. I don't know how anybody makes it, in all honesty. I really don't. Okay. All opinions are valid here. Hey, folks, I really, honestly, you guys can have your own opinions and whatever. That's fine. I don't. It doesn't bother me either or. I'm just telling you what I have known to be in law enforcement, how it works, and why this is shocking news to me. Okay, that's it. You can make your own assessment on what you think. In all honesty, I'm just giving you the information. Arizona says I am starting the records prove him a very positive light, and that he media publicly talked about an incident selective, and there is much more. No, there's a lot more. If you want to know a lot more, watch the interview room with the interview they did with Sergeant Cross, and you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Watch the interview, and if you know anything about what you expect your officers to be, what you expect of a leader, you will see and have to make up your own assessment. Yes, I'm just telling you for what it's worth. Well, usually it is the outgoing sheriff that would have someone do the background, and to my understanding, it was the outgoing sheriff who endorsed Nanos too to be the sheriff, the next sheriff. So yes, there's a lot of dropping the ball here. A lot of dropping the ball, no doubt about it, falls. A lot of dropping the ball, and I just don't know how he stayed in law enforcement, to be honest. And I can't do it justice just telling you this because I know, it's not necessarily the pretty thing everybody wants to hear, but it is reality. It is reality, and if you watch it, you'll understand why it's reality. That should never happen, irregardless. But that's just telling you for what it's worth. All right. So, Paige says, simply it for me, please. February 1976. Okay, here we go. April. April said, that's my question too. I had to have background checks every 5 years with the school district here. No doubt. Everybody gets background checks all the time. Denmark is in the house. Good to have you, Denmark. Gronsky, where was the oversight? There wasn't any. That's the problem. Carol, hi, just joining. I heard that the officer in charge of Nancy's case was also fired before beating a man. I have no idea about that, but you know what? Nothing surprises me after I heard this interview with the interview room and Sergeant Cross, in all honesty. Nothing surprises me. Paige, too vague, but thank you for trying. A Fanflower, sounds like he is a yes boy to people he is wrapped up in. Yeah, no doubt about it, Fanflower, no doubt about it. Appreciate you, A. No doubt. It's not who you know, it's who you blow, says Paige, in my opinion. Fall says, right, April, the state police did my background check for my mental health job. April, I appreciate seeing you all here, and all opinions are welcome. Keep it kind and be respectful. Amen. No doubt. Sleuth Fairy. Hey, Double Dog. It's nice to see you. Good to see you, Sleuth Fairy. Lisa Page. Can't rant can't run an apartment without a background check anymore. Can't rent. Yes, you're totally right about that. All right, I can. This is a very touchy subject because there's a lot of different mixed emotions, and you have to understand. I don't like talking bad about literally any law enforcement agency because I've been there. I get it, but I've never seen anything quite like this of what I had heard in that interview room. I'm just telling you. So we'll just settle that there for now. But you guys, if you get a chance, watch the interview room. It was amazing. It was an amazing watch. You had somebody from the inside, literally telling you how he saw it and what he sees. They had a vote taken from this officer across. He was also in charge of. It's kind of like they don't have a union police, but they have what's called like an FOP, Fraternal Order Police. They have other organizations that help officers who get into trouble or need an attorney or whatever because they're being, for a better lack of words, they're being accused of something or charged with something, so they'll go ahead and defend the officer. That's what this organizations do. And I'm not sure what exactly, I can't remember what Sergeant Cross said. He was running that organization in Pima County for his department. So he was kind of like the president of that organization for that county. We had it when I worked, and it was called the Fraternal Order of Police, FOP. We had that. We had the same thing, but it's just a different name, different organization. But the reason I say that for is that his job is literally to protect officers that are being mistreated, overworked, overpaid, underpaid. It's kind of like just like a union would, but they don't call it a union. I bet Nanos is not proud of himself. There's no way. I wouldn't be. I'd just be honest. Just got here. Did you have a chance to watch Alex? I did, Jody, and I'll get to Alex next. I did. Jody, hi, Lisa. I made you wrong, you make it right. Arizona, thank you for that info. You very welcome. Arizona says he was not fired for the Mars 82 incident. He resigned August over the topic and that evidence at the BOS meeting. Correct. But here's the thing about that. They talked about that. They did say that the only reason he resigned was so it would not show that he was fired. And how they interpreted that, they said that they finally, after so many incidents they had at El Paso, that the board finally got together and said, we need to do something about this officer, which I think was way overdue. And they said, we need to do something about this officer. And they went ahead and looked at his jacket, his file. When I say jacket, I mean his file. And when they looked at it, they said, we need to terminate him. And as they were going through that process of terminating him and getting all the ducks in a row, he had got word and he quit before they could actually say you're fired. So technically, it was like, you didn't fire me, I left. But in reality, he knew he was getting terminated. Does that make any sense? But I'm just saying, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just giving you the info. If you want to know the exact specifics, you need to watch the interview room with Sergeant Cross. Bridget, Sergeant Cross revealed a lot about Nanos. His rap sheet was amazing. It really was. It was an eye-opener for me, no doubt. In my opinion, that's how you earn respect for your missed actions. Absolutely. Melissa, hey, what's going on, Melissa? Honestly, an effort goes a long way, no doubt. Arizona, there is much more there that's others' opinions, but records show differently. That is correct, Arizona. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Like I said, I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm just giving you what I heard and what I know in law enforcement and how it would be very, very hard to seek employment somewhere else with that type of jacket. That's all I'm saying. Okay? I'm not taking any side. I'm just telling you what they said. And if they were saying stuff that was inappropriate or wrong, to include Sergeant Cross, who works at Pima County Sheriff's Office, and or the rest of the people, well, then they would be held liable. I'm just regurgitating to the best of my ability what they were saying. That's all. I'm not. I don't have a dog in the fight. All I am is a dog trying to find out what happened to Nancy. Lack of experience is crucial, and you gotta have experience when you're handling a case like that. So with that, let's move on because I don't want to get caught up in this little thing. Well, it's not little; it's huge. But you guys need to watch it for yourselves. It was amazing. Now, getting to Sleuth. Sleuth was on Alex's Criminal Network here the other day as well, and I got to watch that episode as well. And they had Alex had oh, what the hell was his name now? Going blank here. He had, oh, what was the guy's name? My lord, I can't believe my brain is going dead here. He had, in his interview, he had Zack. Okay, Zack. The guy that Sleuth really thinks has the perfect build and body shape and is the perfect, that looks quite like the perp that was in front of Nancy's door. Okay, Zack. If you guys didn't watch it, that was pretty interesting as well. Not as much information as I thought, but it was okay. A song in my heart is in the house. Groundsky so poor, Nancy's left waiting to get a fair shake. Dee Dee, your input means a lot to us. Thank you, April. Song, thank you. Lisa, yes, G. Bridget, Zack. Yes, Zack. Melissa, Zack. Z-A-C-K. Now, Zack was on Criminal Network. TJW is in the house. Good to have you, TJW. Alex. TJ Wheeler. Alex. Yes, Alex. Alex had Zack on in his stream the other day. And, he was taking questions and asking questions because a lot of people were saying Zack is someone who is listed as basically I don't want to say owner, but the operator of a GM, which is a car dealership where Luke Daly got his Range Rover. And, a lot of people have surmised that because he got it there and somehow they were affiliated, that maybe Zack was possibly the guy on the perp and literally that was on the front camera of Nancy Guthrie. Okay, follow me so far. Capture Dandy, you all should look into the files. There's a lot of digging to be done instead of spinning your wheels each day. Capture, just stay focused. That's all I say. Stay focused. Good to hear. I watch you all the time, but don't usually comment much. Usually busy and just absorbing the information. Thank you, TJ. Appreciate you. Cool beans, says TJ. So here's the thing. So basically, people have surmised, Sleuth in particular has said that Zack really looks like the perp in the front. Now, honestly, to me, he looks like a lot of other people as well. You know what I mean? In other words, there's a lot of people that look like they could fit that bill as a perp in front of Nancy's home. No doubt about it. And could it be Zack has the outlook and the face, the shape and everything? Absolutely. But I'm just saying, none of us know who is that perp at this point in time. But we do know that that's what Sleuth was asking questions, because Sleuth came into Alex's live as a guest, and then Alex asked Sleuth if he would go ahead and if he wanted to ask some questions to Zack. So he did. Zack said, Gronsky says, Zack said the 5,000 can get you a very good life in Jordan. Yes, he was in Jordan at the time. He's still in Jordan, to my understanding. April says, you see Zack and Richard and Tommy could be all of them. Very well. Very well. No doubt. Could also be Luke as well. No doubt. TJ, the files are interesting, and if you want to try and connect the dots, you can lead yourself down this rabbit hole, but I still think it is someone from and it very well could be, TJ. It could be somebody on the inner circle. No doubt about it. It could very well. I mean, I still have TC as my third person of interest. So I get it. Believe me, I get it. And Luke is also my number one person of interest. These people, when I say they're person of interest, they need to be talked to by the FBI. They need to be talked to. They need to be re-interviewed, and they need to ask those specific questions that I've been asking personally. Just me. I'm just saying. In my opinion, I think the Porsche guy has another mask under, and he very well could. I mean, that theory has been made. No doubt about it. That theory has been made that it is possible he had another mask under that mask. Pay says Luke and crew. So he did ask the question. Sleuth asked him a few questions, and he gave some answers. And really, in all honesty, when I heard the interview, and I heard the questions in that group, right? In that group, right? Absolutely. And when I heard the questions and I heard the answers, I honestly, TJ, I think so too. I think honestly, I didn't really see a whole lot of damaging because Zack had a very strong accent because he's from the Middle East. I believe he's from Jordan, and he has that accent. Okay, and it was hard, sometimes when someone asks a question and then they ask that person, well, what you ask again? And then they ask the question again, it's because they're trying to think of something to say, usually. Not always, but because he has that language barrier, it seems like there's a issue with trying to figure that part out, okay, just so you all know. But when I watched the interview, I can't say he sounded like he was defending himself as a perp or if he was really just telling the truth. It could have gone either way. Brother Cam. So I don't know, to honestly tell you, if I don't think he's the guy personally. TJ says Tier is usually always on the right track and they always stick to the facts. So I'm not saying literally that he could be the suspect. I'm not even saying he's a person of my interest. Because he kind of come across so. I didn't find anything that stood out except one thing. Think that Zack accent was put on a little much. It was. Yes. Thank you, fan. Thank you. I was going to get to that. Yes. I couldn't determine if he was trying to play on his accent a lot to mislead and misinterpret people or to give time to think about what he was going to answer, or if in fact he was really literally had that big of an issue with his accent. And that means a lot literally when you're doing an investigation and when you're talking to somebody, you got to really look between the weeds there. No doubt about it. Thank you, fan. I was going to say that. The interview, TIR. So, the only thing that got me with the Zack interview, there was one thing that stuck with me. One thing. Because for the most part, it's pretty bland, pretty vanilla. It was okay. He is smart. Yes. Yes, fan. TJ used to initials being on other channels. I get it. I understand. No problem. Growski Z never answered where he worked. He didn't. He was like part of the owner of GM of the car dealership. He said, like someone earlier just said, he said $5,000 in Jordan is like living like a king. I wouldn't doubt it. I've been to the Middle East, and it's not like anything to scream and shout about in some of those places. So just for information. But I will say this. There was a question that was asked to him. And Salute asked him something, and he said his answer was, and I forgot what the whole question was, but it had something to do with Nancy Guthrie, or it had something to do with the relationship of Luke Daly. And he said something to the fact that I'm paraphrasing it, okay? He did talk in third person, but here's what he said. He said, and it's the little things I always tell you guys. He said, why would I do this? He said something to the effect of, tell me what you have to show me that I am the one who did this. What information do you have about me that did this? Now, when a person asks a question within a question, that's usually a red flag. Why is that? Because that's just how it is. It's a red flag. When you're investigating someone, that's a red flag. And that question just didn't sit well because he was saying basically, well, if you think it was me, tell me what you got. In other words, hey, if it was me, if you think it was me, then tell me, what did I do? Who was I with? Like, almost like saying, and you got to read between the lines here because I'm talking about literally interviewing people. Almost like saying, tell me what you have on me that I did if you think I did it. Tell me what you have. Because technically no one's going to know what I did or didn't do. No one knows anything, so tell me what you have. Almost like picking the person who's asking the question's brain. You follow me? April says he also said he had to leave other groups because they were accusing him. Did you? Yes, I did. I did hear that, April. TJ said exactly. You understand what I'm saying? He was very evasive. Yes. But I didn't find anything else that he said that was troubling other than he said, basically, and I'm just paraphrasing here, if you think I did it, tell me what you have that I did it. Tell me what you think I did. How did I do this? I'm in Jordan. Tell me. You tell me how I did this. Tell me what you have if you're saying it's me. Follow me? And when a person answers a question with a question, that just doesn't resonate. Alley Cat's in the house. Good to have you, Alley Cat. Here has been in and out of the U.S. a lot. Justice for Nancy. Now, that question was asked by Sleuth. You know, is it fair because you have been in and out of your country for so many times, and it's listed that you live at that GM address of the car dealership? Where do you really reside? And he said, I live here in Jordan. He says, maybe the address just wasn't updated yet, that he doesn't live at that address. That's just the car dealership place. Okay? No, Z is not Zodiac. Z is just a guy named Zack who owns a car dealership that sold the Range Rover to Luke Daly. He's the one that sold the car to Luke Daly, the Range Rover. That's where Luke Daly got his Range Rover. Zodiac didn't speak anything. We're not talking about Zodiac. We're talking about Luke. Luke is the one. Zack is the one that literally, he was the one that sold the car to Luke from the dealership of GM. That's where we're at. Got you. Okay, so you follow me so far, everybody. But when he said that, well, tell me what I did. I mean, almost like it was pretty clear to me. He was saying, tell me what I did. If you think I did it, tell me what I did. Tell me how I did it. Like, almost like saying no one knows because no one was there but X, Y, and Z. So if you think I did it, tell me how I did it. And you never really want to ask a question and get a question in return, because that's giving you also time to think of what you want to say. You follow me? Yes, Gronsky says, I get this better. So that's the whole premise. That's the only thing he said that stuck in my mind that I said, man, that did not sit well with me. As an investigator, as an interviewer, if I was interviewing and he said that, boy, my heightened alert would kick in, because that's just not something someone would say. Well, if you think I did it, and he said it calmly, if you think I did it, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, tell me how I did it. What did I do? Tell me what you know. What do you know that I did? You know? So let's just say that Sleuth knew exactly what he did and said, you did X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah. What's he going to say? Nope, not me. You follow me? It was a question within a question, and you just don't do that in an interview. Not in an interview when you're being interviewed by someone who's asking you a question. Anybody can use these skills. You have to learn what you're looking for. Zack drove, though it was a silver Range Rover. Zack refused DNA. I'm not sure where that's coming from, April, honestly. The what I'm talking about is the Range Rover that was sold to Luke when he crashed his blue Charger. Remember? He crashed his blue Charger, totaled it. He had to get another vehicle, so he went and got it. And Zach said it was, I thought he said it was like the 12th or something when he bought the Range Rover. And he was asked who paid for it, and Zach said his mom paid for it with a cashier's check. Yes, he couldn't hear the questions. He couldn't hear the questions that were asking about specific, and he used, I don't know, I don't want to say that he used his accent as a barrier breaker, but in reality, he kind of did. But it was more just what he said about literally, well, if I did it, tell me what I did. Because here's the thing, no one knows if it's Zach or not, right? No one knows who it is. So he's asking it like almost like putting out that feeler, putting out the feeler of saying, hey, if it was me, tell me what I did. Tell me how I did it. Tell me. You follow me? TJ says Zach entered the picture because of the Range Rover. Correct. That Luke brought was sold by MG Motors. Correct. That Zach he ownership in. Correct. That is correct. All that's correct, everybody. That's what we're talking about. Lisa says, I know Falls, but why? Lisa says, you, TJ. The best part of being here, hitting that like button. Thank you very much, Arizona. You got it, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate you. Gronsky, what did everyone here think of the mom? I heard he refused DNA, says April. Also, but can't confirm. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about the DNA, in all honesty. What I was telling you basically is just that in my opinion, the only thing in that troubling interview or the questions, that wasn't an interview, the questions that were asked of Zach was just that. The only part that got my attention was the part when he said, well, if I did it, tell me. Tell me what I did. How did I do it? What do you know I did? What do you know I did? Almost like fishing, like, well, if you did do it, hey, what do you know what I did? How do you know I did something? Tell me. Tell me what you got. Because no one else was there. Right? I mean, you follow me? That's just how you handle an interview. You look for those little things, those little nuggets that speak volume. TJ, I agree, Lisa. She is suspect in my opinion. Fan, hearts, Tegan. It's almost sounded like exactly, Tegan. It was almost like a challenge. Like he was telling the person asking the question, well, if you think it was me, tell me what I did. Let's see if you're right. Let's see if you know what you think you know. You follow me? That's a challenge, and you're exactly right. Well put, Tegan. That's what I got, that he was asking a question with a question. Instead of just saying, no, I didn't do anything. I was not in country, which he did state, and just sticking to that and say, I was not in the country. I was gone in Jordan the whole time. I was not even there. Okay? Instead of saying, that couldn't have been me. I'm not there. Right? But for him to say, oh, you think it was me? What? Tell me what you know. What did I do? Tell me. If you think it was me, what information do you have on me? Follow me? That was a challenge. Well put, Tigi. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't heard about DNA being refused, to be honest. That would be a red flag in a big time if they wanted some DNA. I haven't heard that, but it's possible. Yeah, Z is not LD. LD is initials for Luke Daly. Z is a guy who sold the car to Luke Daly from GM, which is a GM is a car dealership that Zack is a part owner of or whatnot. And he was saying he sold him that car, but he didn't sell it to him. He said his mom actually paid for it because the question was asked, who paid for that car? And he said, Zack said it was his mom, Luke Daly's mom, who paid for the car. So it's in her name. You're welcome. TJ, then again, the neighbor that Brian interviewed about seeing a suspicious guy in the neighborhood, and the rest of the neighborhood has suspicious too, in my opinion. Correct. That is correct. I remember that. No doubt. April, sorry, good idea. Add name of the subject we are discussing in chat. The guy that we're talking about right now is Zack. He is the guy that owns the GM car dealership that sold the white Range Rover to Luke Daly. But it really wasn't Luke Daly, it was Luke Daly's mom. She's the one that actually paid for it, according to Zack. He's the guy from GM. He's the Middle Eastern guy that is still currently in Jordan. V-Miss, hi everyone. Good to have you, V-Miss. You guys follow me so far. Give me a yes or no. Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no if you follow me so far. Because I do not want to confuse anybody. This is really important information, and I don't want to confuse anybody. So if you following me, what I'm telling you, give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no, please. Paige says no. Grossi says I'm good. TJ says Mary Luke's mom is psychologist. TJ says 1. Lisa says no. Okay. Luke Daly. I'm just going to tell you the name. Luke Daly. J-Bug's in the house. Good to have you, J-Bug. 1 for you. Okay, you say yes. Yes now. Okay. Good. Good. So you all get it. Okay. Just didn't want to misconfuse anybody. Mayor Gilbertson's in the house. Good to have you, Mayor. If you are new and you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel for free. Leave your comments. Click the likes. Leave the hearts and emojis. Build that algorithm. Let's make it happen, everybody. Thank you. Okay, so most of you understand what's going on. Oh, no problem. So you do follow. Okay, good. Good. We're all on the same sheet. We're all on the same sheet. Don't have to agree with me, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay, good. So that's where we're at. So in my opinion, after hearing that, that was the only thing I had an issue with, was that he was asking the question, the person asking the question with the question, and he was almost like it was like Teague said, almost like it was a challenge. Like, well, if you think I did it, tell me how I did it. Tell me what you know that I did. Tell me how I did it. And that is very red flaggish when you're doing, like if I'm doing an interview and I'm watching an interview, that's the little things that I'm looking for. Those are the little things, not the big things. He's not going to say, yes, I did it. He's not going to say no. But if he would have stuck firm and just said, no, not me. I did not do it. Not me. I was not even in country. Okay? Then that's one thing. And if he would have stuck to that, as far as I'm concerned, it was a nothing burger. But when he went ahead and started his, well, tell me what I did. You know, like, hey, smart guy, tell me what I did. If you think I did it, tell me what I did. Let's see what you know. Type of deal. Right? Then now he can decide, do I come back to do I come back to Tucson or do I stay in Jordan, right? I mean, it's that simple. All right, good. Good deal. Glenn is in the house. Good deal. Thank you, Paige. Glenn, welcome. TJ, yes, fan, everybody. You guys got it. Rough, Semper Fi, Arizona. Lisa, by questions, have they found her body? No, nobody found yet. To my understanding, no body has been found. So the interview was good. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't even an interview. It was kind of an interview, but they were just asking questions to Zack. He freely came on Alex's live stream the other day, and I, it was good. I watched it, and that was the only part that I took out that I didn't like from Zack was that moment. Other than that, do I think he could be it? I mean, when you don't have anybody, I mean, could he? Sure. Could he? Sure. Is he the one? Who knows? I mean, I wasn't really sold on Zack, to be honest. Do I think he might know something? I just did not like his answer to that question. That's it. That's all I can say about him. Does he override someone like a Luke Daly for me? An LD? Hell no. As far as I'm concerned, LD needs to go ahead and literally be interviewed by, in my opinion, by the FBI again. Yeah. And so does TC, and so does the double pack guy, Lopez. All of them need to literally be interviewed again. And as well as even Richard needs to be interviewed again by, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, he does not supersede any one of those, but it was just interesting on his response on that question. AJ is still searching on a foot daily. Glenna, awesome. AJW. Glenna, oh my God, I hate all of this false news. So disturbing. God be with her, no doubt. Writers for Nancy, I know Glenna. Glenna, I saw some stuff about Barney 5 sheriff hiding things. Who knows? Who knows? That's a whole nother animal, no doubt. D-Man says, I agree about LD. There's just too much information there that hasn't been answered. That's why, in my opinion, LD is in a high marker there, is because there's too much that hasn't been answered. I have thought about Barney Fife suspect from day one. Arizona says Semper Fries. But I wouldn't doubt it, Glenna. Lisa said the prick could be anyone, no doubt. But they let him go free saying he is innocent. That's what they said. But what did the FBI said? Nobody is cleared. Right? That's what the FBI said. Even when Nanos said that everybody in the family was cleared, the FBI said no one is cleared. And I think it's because they know. You can't clear somebody that can't show them dropping out their mother-in-law. Sorry, buddy. The cookie is good. So that's where that's at. But it was a good, interesting. I'm glad they suggested and watched the live of Alex because it was a good live. That is very true, VMS. Always got to look at the cup half full, no doubt, instead of half empty. Maybe we can have a small shred of hope with the DNA and the hair. Crossing our fingers that something gives in on that, no doubt. Arizona said, who has the crayons that will give us a clue? Well, the thing is, everything has been so quiet that that's where all the assumptions come in, you know? Why is this taking so long for it to come back? It usually takes this long because you got to remember the testing that on that hair follicle, the last one that they got, that went to the FBI, but then had to go to Stray something. It's a company in, I think, California or even San Francisco that does the testing of a hair follicle without the root. In the past, if you had just the hair, piece of hair, but no root, they could not do anything with it. Now they can. So, but it just takes a longer process. And I guess here nobody jumps in front of the line. It's just like in school when you go get your lunch, right? Stay in line, don't jump in front of somebody else. April, Luke now he has ties with Zack because of the car. Correct. So to his mother. Correct. Is that suspicious? In my opinion, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, it means something. Absolutely. Um, do I think that he is a person of interest? Yes. Yes, I would say the FBI needs to talk to him too. Break him down. Maybe bring an interpreter to ask those questions in his language so that there's no misunderstanding or clarity issue. You know, would not hurt at all. I mean, it's where they bought the car, the Range Rover, right? Vima says not cleared. I just meant they let Luke go. Correct. They did let Luke go. They took him in, and they did let him go. Yes, thank you. They did go ahead and let Luke go. They did held him for 5.5 hours. Him and his mom, while they searched the Range Rover. They did take the impound the Range Rover. They searched it, did whatever they did, testing to it. They went to the house. According to Nanos, they picked up some items that's under being tested as well. They did get some items out of there, and then they went ahead and released them both. But the ironic thing about that twist is that even saying all that, even saying all that, the ironic twist is that Kayla Day, the day before Luke was given a search warrant and taken in for questioning, even before that happened, Kayla Day was arrested the day before. She was arrested on the 12th or the 11th, and Luke was the day after her was arrested. Well, was detained, not arrested, detained. Kayla was arrested. So kind of begs the very next day after Kayla, who has an affiliation or association with Luke, okay, Kayla gets taken in, arrested. The following day, there's a court ordered, signed by a judge, literally a search warrant for Luke's car and his property. Is that a coincidence that they only got this after they arrested Kayla Day? Interesting, right? It's very interesting. TJ says, drill Derek Kalela. In my opinion, he will give up some if you lower his charge. It's very possible. I think they're all intertwined in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know in what form. But it seems like they all know each other or have crossed paths with each other in some way, shape, or form. Why come from Jordan to sell a car in Nancy's neighborhood? I don't think he came from Jordan. I don't know. I don't think he came from Jordan. I just think it was his dealership. He was still in Jordan, supposedly. I think he just owned the dealership. You know how some people from other countries will own businesses out here, but then they'll go back to the country and stay there for a while, and they'll let whoever run the dealership company or whatever business. I think that's kind of what it was. I don't think he came down here specifically to sell him that, but he was there. He was there, no doubt about it. He was there because I guess he flies back and forth all the time, April. But it doesn't make sense. I follow what you're saying. You're right. Why would you come down here just to do this? Yeah, very good point. Glenna, Devil Dog, gotta run for now. I appreciate you and what you do, and I'll be back. Okay, we'll be here. Arizona spotted the cran eater. Oh, yeah. That's what they call us Marines, the cran eaters. Who is Derek? Derek Layla is the one that lives in Los Angeles, the one that was charged for texting or not texting, messaging Annie and Tommaso about if they had received the Bitcoin so they could make the transition of the trade for Nancy for the half Bitcoin or whatever in the hell it was. That's who Derek is, Paige. V-Miss, yep, I always found that a little suspicious, no doubt. V-Miss, Lisa, Derek is the guy who called in the Bitcoin text Tommaso, yes. April, oh, okay, Dee Dee, got you. Arizona, Nanos mentor, full metal silence. No doubt, right? Hey, thank you so much, V-Miss. I remember him now. Fanflower, yes, he is a part. Hope for loose lips talking. Loose lips sink ships, no doubt. April, he said he does travel, but had nothing to do with Nancy. He did say that. Yes, he did. Lisa says, thank you, dog. You welcome. Margie, V-Miss, you're welcome. Margie, Zack said he hasn't been here since 2019. That is correct, Margie. Right? Right? Yeah, right. How convenient. No doubt, right? No doubt. I mean, they need to bring him in and have an interview with him. That's what they need to do. But then, hell, there's a lot of people they need to interview, right? Alley Cat, so what happened to the blue car? Apparently, it was towed by the insurance company that so that they could claim a that it was a total loss. So it was towed by the insurance company, and no one knows where it went to. I haven't heard anywhere where that car, and I've been asking this question for the longest time. Hell, I don't even know. I know someone posted earlier that it was like State Farm was the insurance company. I ain't heard nothing of who the insurance company is, where the car was taken, who took the car, where did they take it to, what junkyard or, whatever. I haven't heard anything. That's what really irritates me is that you think you would have to have a crash report number so that the insurance can affiliate that for a total loss with the crash report number, but I'm not hearing anything. No one has that information. And yet it's public record if there was a crash report made. So how in the hell did it get back to Luke's house or his mom's house? You know what I mean? Just don't make any sense. That's why he's at the top of my list as a person that needs to be spoken to. Well, they don't even need to do that, in all honesty, Alec. All they have to do is contact Luke and ascertain who in the hell was your insurance company. And then go ahead and call the company and say, where did you guys tow that vehicle to? And then go to the vehicle and do your analysis and do your forensics and do your fingerprints and see if there's anything, any fibers or anything there from Nancy. That would sure take care of that issue. But we don't know if any of that has been done because they haven't said anything. Lisa says, I don't suspect Richard, but keeping an open mind for sure. TJ, that blue car was crashed, I believe, January 25th before the kidnapping. Well, the kidnapping happened January the 31st to February the 1st, TJ. That's when the kidnapping happened. So the crash didn't happen before. It could have happened before, but when I look up that information, all it says that it happened before February the 13th. Okay, and I thought if they did ask Zack, going back to that interview on Alex's live stream, they did ask Zack if he knew what happened. Did Luke ever say what happened to his blue Charger? Because it was totaled, and he said he didn't know nothing about it. They did ask him if he was the one that sold that blue Charger to him, and he said nope, it didn't come from our dealership. So at least he did answer that. So Arizona says, besides a missing person, what else are we missing from LE and FBI? The truth. Yeah, that's putting it mildly, no doubt. Either there was a report or there was not. I can't find it. I have no clue. And everything tells me there was not a report, which then begs to differ. How did the insurance company go ahead and just write it off as a total loss? Right? How did they write it off as a total loss? If in fact there was no crime report or no crash report, you know? And then who took it back to Luke's house? If it's totaled, right? Complete total, and it was just the front end that was all smashed in. If it's totaled, then why wasn't there a report done? And how did it get back to the house from where it happened? I mean, there's so many things that are unanswered on that issue alone that makes you ask the question, what did he have to do with this incident? No doubt about it. Cat Lady, if Luke's interview, his right hand was swollen really bad, well, that could explain why he had a swollen hand. It could have been from, I hate to say it, but it could have been from hitting Nancy, okay, and causing her to go unalive, or it could have been from the car accident that he had in his blue car. Maybe he was going so fast on roads that you cannot go fast, like in the desert, and Nancy was in the car. He she got unalive. They were trying to find a place to put the body, and next thing you know, he crashed. It's just so much unknown, and that's the problem. That's what the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Office needs to figure out. Aristocrats in the house. Good to have you, aristocrat. But even the perp on the front door of Nancy Guthrie, even the perp looked like he had a swollen hand, didn't he? Good afternoon, all, says aristocrat. April, interview with Luke. Interview had a sundress on. He was covered from neck to waist. Anyone noticed that? Interview with Luke. Interviews. He had a sundress on. Yeah, I'm not sure I know who that was. I've never seen Luke with a sundress on. He had a long sleeve on. Maybe that's what you meant to say. Maybe that's what Siri misspoke. Interview Luke interviewed with a long sleeve and was covered from neck to waist. That is correct. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Like he was trying, he had his whole face shaved and everything was clean cut, like he was a choir boy. Fanflower, Z said on Alex's that the cops towed the blue car. No, I didn't hear that. I did not hear that being said, Fan. I did not hear that at all being said. Z did not know who took that car. The neighbor said it was the insurance company, but he did not say who took that car. At least I didn't hear it, in all honesty. And I was waiting to hear stuff like that, and I did not hear him say, Z say that that the car was taken by the police. The Range Rover was taken by the police. He did say that the Range Rover took that car, but not the blue one. Just want to clarify that. Tisha, do you remember who was driving the Charger? In the expos, VMS, and why isn't the 911 call out? So strange. No doubt. They haven't even talked about the 911 call. When did it come in? How long did it take police to stop that vehicle? Because we know that Nanos said they stopped the vehicle. How long did it take? Did they have time to get her out of that car, put her somewhere, take off, then only later to be stopped, and then come back, get her body, and take it to where they're going to bury her? I mean, hate to say that, but To me, that's just common sense. Arizona, split out the crayon and answer Nanos. We want to see if it's green. Red, red, love red. TJ, Luke was driving it when it crashed. Who said that Luke was driving that car, TJ? Because the only thing I ever heard was that Luke said his car was crashed. He didn't say I crashed my car when he was in that interview with Brianna Whitney. He said the blue when Brianna asked him, "Do you not own a blue car?" and he said, "Yes, a blue Charger, but it was totaled," is what he said. It was totaled. Okay, and then he said it has nothing to do with the Nancy Guthrie case. Why would he even say that? Paige says, VMS, that is the strangest aspect, in my opinion. The kidnap, that nap, other 911 call, not Nanos, but same night and time. Yes. Cat lady, bingo perp had right hand swollen. He did. April says, no, the lady interviewer had the the lady interviewer. I'm sorry. Yes, the lady interviewer. Yes, she did. That was Brittany Whitney, if I'm not mistaken. Brianna Whitney from Tucson, crime reporter. Yes, you're right about that, April. My bad. Arizona. Sundays are the sundress days. VMIS. Yes, Lisa. I don't get it. Fan. Cops covering it up. They have the car. I mean, all they have to do is find out where the car is and go check it. They still have evidence in the car. They could find evidence in the car, should I say? Cat lady said, "I heard it was AAA. I ain't heard squat, nothing." And yeah, I've asked that question to many streamers, and they don't know nothing because they didn't say nothing. No one has. I have watched a lot of these streamers, and no one has mentioned even the car. Even the car, no one has brought that up until here just recently. I've been saying it from day one when that first report came through. What if it happened like this? And then I've been saying all along, this needs to be checked out. I ain't heard nothing about that blue car until probably within the last probably 4 days, 4 or 5 days. No, I have been on this, and that's been my main reason why Luke has always been at the top of my list. Okay. There you go. There you go, Lisa. The other number one call is key in my opinion, absolutely. DD says April, I am laughing. I just got my head of Luke in the sundress. Yeah. That's why he kind of threw me off. I was like, damn, I didn't see that, but hey, how to put nothing past it. April, Luke had the car covered with tarp. He did. The front part was covered. And we have the picture of the front part being covered. The part of the car literally was covered. I just got to go ahead and find it real quick. And it's right here. There you go. That's what was covered. See that front part? That was covered literally. So his car was crashed. Just don't know when. Just don't know what day. Don't know what time. Don't have a case number. Nothing. You welcome, Lisa. Prayers. Jody, Luke has nice, expensive taste in vehicles. Yeah, and to know that his mom paid it with a cashier's check. I don't know. I don't think she paid it cash, but she might have. Paige says, "My business." TJ, the police report had him listed as the driver, but it could have been him being the owner, considering they can't report correctly at Pima County. That's very possible, TJ. Very possible. Lisa says, no drama, no drama. Arizona, it was originally Kiki's sundress. Huh. Arizona says, that explains her outfit in front of Nancy's. Interesting. Kiki's another one of them. I would be asking, what does she know and why was she there so out of place? Fan says, you may be right, Devil Dog. I'll go back and watch it again. Yeah, he didn't say anything about that blue car being towed by police. The police never touched that blue car. That was the whole premise. Why didn't they check it because when they went and did the house search warrant to the house and to Luke's white or silverish Range Rover, okay, when they did that, that car was still there. Why didn't they go ahead and check the car? But it is believed that they didn't check anything. Nothing. Which makes no sense. Nanos, did you... Arizona says, Nanos, did you police call the car into a private lab? Fan, you may be right. Jenny, JW Auto Transport was the company that picked the blue car up. It was a fault bed truck. Video clip is on YouTube. Okay. JW Auto Transport. Let's see here. Give me a second, everybody. It is still searching, everybody. Thank you, Jenny, very much. Cat Lady. Nano's logic. Detain Luke. Lose the car. Still waiting for this damn thing to come up. Okay. Come on. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll look at it here in a few. I don't want to get lost in the weeds. The clip is on Citizens Fighters 2 months ago. Okay. I'll look at it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do you know who ordered that car to be towed by any chance? At least, Jenny? By any chance, do you know who ordered that car to be? I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure I'll find it if it's here. Do you know who went ahead and literally went ahead and had it towed by any chance? Just trying to go ahead and figure it out. Nano's logic. Detain Luke, lose the car. Good job, Pup Jenny. Thank you all for your info, says April.
True crime. We're back in Arizona to talk about the Nancy Guthrie case.
Heard that it was State Farm. Okay, I haven't heard any of that. Thank you for that info. I'll check it out. Where is the Range Rover now, says Mayor Gilbertson. Do we know where that vehicle's at now, Jenny, by any chance? So I'm watching this on True Crime, the podcast, just to see. They didn't know what impound it was taken to. Got you. Great question, Mayor. No doubt. JW responded to the phone call and said it was an insurance company ordered it. Now, True Crime is saying this is what they did, but she's not showing any clip of anybody taking that car. She's saying it. Thanks, TJ. Still here, everybody. I'm just kind of trying to multitask here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any tow truck, but I'll still keep looking for it. Thank you so much. So, who towed Luke Daly's blue Charger from his house? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I heard the podcast. I'll go ahead and continue to look for it. Arizona insurance got the Charger before the FBI. Semper Fi. Semper Y. Once I once worked at a body shop. I was the office assistant, and the shop assistants loved it. Ahmad should be about to post that clip. Sounds good, Jenny. Thank you. It would have been took a salvage yard or sold at an auction if it was an insurance company, no doubt. What day was the car towed? Does anybody know that? Says Mayor. There you go. Send it to me. There you go. April says, Jenny, send that clip to Dee Dee's email. Thank you. Thank you, April. Appreciate that. And thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that. Yeah, because this is information I haven't heard anybody talk about. I have not heard anybody talk about this. I haven't heard JLR. I haven't heard uh, um, Dad's Going Live. I haven't heard anybody, not even um, freaking Alex. I have not heard anybody talk about that. So that is really interesting to me. Towing, car insurance, and police reports also reminds me of my experience there. So how does it work, Lisa, when you used to work at an insurance company? Cat lady, off topic, but why is Kayla still in jail? I have no idea. I really don't know. I know she was arrested the day before Luke's house and his car was literally searched. They got that search warrant that very next day and searched and went out there and served it. The very next day that Kayla Day got taken to jail. Jenny said, Luke Daly, one of the suspects on Nancy Guthrie's case, his second car was towed. That's the title of the video. Luke Daly, one of the suspects on Nancy Guthrie's case, his second car was towed. That's the title of the video. You sure that wasn't the white Range Rover? Correct? I'm looking at my email to see if you send it. Just give me a second, everybody. Looking at that email to see if Jenny sent that email of that car. Still looking. No, I worked on the auto body shop who did business with insurance companies and performed tows for auctions accidents. Got you. Thank you, Paige. No problem. I didn't send it because I lost my password, laughing out loud. Okay, well, I haven't seen any verification of it, so when you find out your password, send it to me. But I haven't seen anything about that car being towed. I know that the white car from Culver's was towed. The white, or the, not the white, but the silver Range Rover was towed. I know that from Culver's. They towed it back and then they went through it. But I haven't heard anything. And that lady who I was just watching earlier, she didn't say any. I mean, she didn't show anything. She just said it, regurgitated it, but she didn't show anything. So I'm still not seeing it. Not saying you're wrong. I'm not seeing it. Citizen fighter. I'm gonna look one more time, everybody. Give me a second. I'm looking it up. Citizen fighter. Tows Luke Daly's car. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything, so I'm gonna move on. During early stage, Jenny, the link is here. The link is there. You send me the link. Did you send me the link? Is that what you're saying, Jenny? The link is there. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I'll keep looking for it. During the early stage of my recovery in 2010, Cat Lady, why would an insurance company need a warrant? That sounds like the police department to me, in my opinion. The Cat Lady, the insurance company don't need a warrant to tow the vehicle. It was on private property, which is Luke Daly's home. What we're talking about is we don't know where that blue Charger of Luke's went. We don't know where it went to, and we were trying to figure out who towed it. and Jenny gave us some information, but it's just not coming out. I'm googling what she said, and I'm not seeing anything there. Not saying it's not there. Maybe it's my end, but I'm not seeing anything there. Kim says maybe it was crushed, then the salvage yard would have picked it up, sold for scrap. That's possible. Why would insurance company? The link is there. Well, I just haven't seen it at all. So let me see one more time. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, anybody. So yep, not seeing anything. Okay, moving on along. I'm not gonna spend more time on it. But we'll look at it later, Jenny. If you're able to get into your email, then just send it to me. You have my email address. We'll go from there. But I haven't seen nothing, so at this point, I'm not going to say yay or nay because I haven't seen it. I can't find it. I've been looking it up. So that's what's going on here. So the whole premise is, let's go back to what we were talking about. Is Zack the person, in my opinion, that Sleuth on Alex's channel was saying, asking questions to, which was really good, by the way. I couldn't tell other than I didn't like him asking. I didn't like Zack asking a question with a question. It didn't make any sense to me. I cleaned the entire shop. I was the bomb. Great work tonight, dog. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, we'll keep on it, trying to find it, but I haven't found it yet. So, but anyways, so getting back to the Zack, I don't think it's him. Honestly, I don't think it's him. But it was just red flags coming up when he was asking that question with the question. I think Sleuth did a great with the questions. He did great. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying Sleuth didn't do great. I said he did answer. He asked a lot of good questions. I just don't think that Zack is the guy. I don't think that he gave me that feeling like he might be the perp who took Nancy.
Can I have my cube back to turn this on? Thank you.
I love you. I don't think that he is the guy that actually did this, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I don't think I think Sleuth did a great job. Yeah, CR to me too. No, Zack doesn't look like the guy to me. To me, it looks like Luke. To me, well, look, I don't know who's the perpetrator. Okay, let's not get confused. I'm not saying who the perpetrator is because I don't know. I just think that he is a person of interest. And do I think that the FBI should be talking to Zack? Absolutely. They should be talking to Zack, no doubt about it. Paige says, I don't suspect Zack. Can someone go ahead, April, can you go ahead and give Jenny my email address so she can go ahead and send me that email, please? I don't think Porchman is the abductor. He could have been just a lackey. He could have been somebody who was just, carrying out orders. Who knows? That's the thing. We just don't know what his role was because we don't even know who it is. It may be a small group, no doubt about it. All right, Jenny, you ready for the email address? I can get it to you here. I'll tell you right now. You got something to write on? Let me know when you got something to write on, and I'll give it to you. Yeah, cat lady, it's like 92%. It goes anywhere from like 82 to 92% that someone who did this knows the family, no doubt. Tell me when you got a pencil ready or a pen ready, Jenny. There it is, Jenny. Okay, there it is. Thank you, April. Appreciate that. There's the email. Send it to me so I can look at it real quick and we can go ahead and move on. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate it. Thank you, April. So that's the issue. We don't know. We don't know who is the actual perp or not. And but yeah, Alex and Sleuth, hey, kudos. They did a good job getting Zack on there and asking those questions. And kudos to Zack for coming on and answering those questions to the best of his ability. I don't know. He could have a role. He did sell the Range Rover. He did give a little bit of wishy washy here and there. In my opinion, I'm staying with Tomato and Andy. And I mean, you can't undo the family. That's for sure, no doubt about it. Fan says, "Good job, Devil Dog. Thank you, appreciate you." So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be somebody who knows the family, knows their movements, and can keep an eye on what their movements are all about. That's usually what it is. I mean, yeah, 92% is pretty damn high. That usually a kidnapping of someone of that age is just so rare. I mean, literally rare in the whole United States. Okay, let me look at it. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate it. Let me look at it here real quick. Waiting for it to come up. Hang on, everybody. We're going to see here. Waiting for it to come up. Just still waiting. For whatever reason, let's see what we got here. Still looking, everybody. Give me 1 second. Why is this taking forever? Hang on, everybody. Give me 1 second. Sorry about the delay. All right.
So they were in the process of towing. Was it just?
And then there's the guy in the back over there too.
Okay, I'm looking here, everybody. Give me a second.
See?
I can send.
Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Was it just?
And then there's the guy in the back over there too.
See?
Okay. I did see it here, everybody. Hang on a second.
Boom.
I'm going to try to stop it and get the name of the
And then
truck.
there's the guy in the back over
Hang
there
on.
too.
See? I'd love to have that.
I can send.
Damn it.
Boom. So they were in the process
It
of towing.
is We got to do this just right. It's going so
they were in the
fast. Give me a
process of
second.
towing. Was it just?
And then there's a guy in the back over there too.
Hang on, everybody. It's coming out.
See? I'd love to have that.
I can send.
Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Boom. So they were in the process. Boom. Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Was it just?
It's going to be...
Boom. So they were in the process
Trying
of
to
towing. Was it
freaking
just?
get it, man.
Boom.
God, I had it there. Hang on, hang on.
Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Was it just?
Trying to get it right.
Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Was it just? Boom. So they
All
were in the
right,
process.
here we go, everybody. It says here, J Auto. J Auto Transport LLC. J Auto Transport LLC. Tucson is the name of the trucking company or truck flatbed. This is what was coming in front of the car. Or not in front of the car, but at what appears to be Luke Daly's house. Now I'm going to get the other look here. Give me 1 second.
Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Was it just?
And then there's a guy in the back over there too.
Ah. See? Boom. So they were in the process of.
I'm looking here. Looking to.
And then there's a guy in the back over there too.
Was it just?
And then there's a guy in the back over there too.
All right, I'm going to take a snapshot here. Okay.
See?
Okay, let me see. And I'm going to put this picture up here. So here's the car that apparently... That's apparently the car with the tarp on the front of it. It looks like that's what they're going to be picking up. Okay, thank you so much, Jenny. Appreciate you. Great work. Great sleuthing. Thank you so much. I've never seen this before. Thank you. Wish I could get a clear picture on that person, but I can't. So let's see here.
I'd love to have that.
I can send.
Boom. So they were in the process of towing. Was it just?
And then there's a guy in the back over there too.
Okay, one more time. All right, all right. Yeah, that's definitely his car. There you go, everybody. There's a tarp. I know it's hard to see. There's a guy standing there. Looks like who knows who that is. So, apparently, and the only reason I can tell the car is because of the wheels. That's the clear shot of the wheels. That's who it was there. You can see the wheels. That's the kind of wheels he had on his Charger that I saw yesterday. So that would make sense. Okay, great. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate you. So we do have now. We just don't know where we can. We can look up. We can look up. Let's see here. We have to look up JW Auto. JW Auto. Okay, I'll look at that later. But thank you so much, Jenny. Appreciate that. Thank you. Great work, Jenny. Great work. The phone number is also on the truck. I'm going to go ahead and call that number and see if we can get any information. Awesome job. Well done, Jenny. This is what makes us all smarter. No doubt about it. Kim's with the big thumbs up. Sounds like JR. I don't know who it is. Um, yeah, I don't know who it is, but definitely thank you. That it eases my mind because now at least we can call that place and ask what they know about that and who was maybe the insurance company. I mean, it's still going to be hard to get that information that we need, but at least we got who towed it. We don't have the day it was towed. Damn, we don't have the day it was towed, but we do have who it was. Okay, that's a start. That's how it works. That's a start, and that's what we need. We need information like that. That's how we get moving to the next step. It was JLR, but I don't recognize who the female was that was showing him the video. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. There was that. There was. I heard the lady, and she was showing him the video. Yes, very true. So JLR didn't catch that live. He was just actually somebody was showing him the video of that car being getting ready to get towed. Basically, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's why I couldn't find it because I never saw it on JLR's live. But that would make sense. Thank you so much. I can't stress it enough because that at least gives us a start where to build from. Do I still think we need to know now, since we know who towed it, and we know that it was a blue Charger? Now we got to figure out what happened. What happened to that vehicle? What was the reason it got totaled in the front end? Were they driving fast through the desert? Did they have Nancy in the back at one point? Did they send it off a hill going down? I mean, it's all probable, very high probable. So I don't know. We're just going to have to do some sleuthing, but this will give me a start to get going. So thank you so much. Yeah, can't stress that enough. Big time good information. And that's what we all bring. That's why when you come on this channel, that's what we all bring is something different. We hear something, we see something different. And look, up to this point, I have never seen that trucking company, and I have never seen that vehicle being towed. So, hey, kudos, 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 kudos. Awesome. So, do I think this whole investigation has been really slow hampered? In my opinion, because maybe Nanos. I mean, one of the things that I didn't mention was that Sergeant Cross did state that every time they wanted to do something with the case, he would state it on the interview room. And every time they wanted to do something on the case, and this is important, that Nanos would tell them, no, we're not doing that. We're going this way. We're going this way. Yeah, Falls, we got a picture of the towing. We got a picture of who towed that blue car sent by Jenny, one of our devil pups. This is the trucking company, his name and address and phone number that towed it. And then in that same video, here's Luke Daly's vehicle that appears to be getting ready to be towed. Somebody was showing this video to JLR. So very good sleuthing, no doubt. Cat lady says Sergeant Cross for sheriff, no doubt. Roofing came to give us an estimate. No, you're good. You're good. Did she send good tips via email like she said she was yesterday, dog? You talking about Samantha? Lisa, if you're talking about Samantha, no, she didn't send anything. Nothing at all. But Jenny just sent those pictures and that video. So kudos to her for doing some good sleuthing work, no doubt. You're very welcome. So Sergeant Cross said that every time they wanted to do something on a case, Nanos would always stop them from doing it. He would tell them not to do it, and he wanted it done this way. And that's important because that tells you, like, if these people are doing the groundwork, and you're going to go ahead and tell them, no, don't do this, do it like this, or you're going to go ahead and stop them from doing what they know or what they think they know how to do, then why are you interjecting in the case? So there is a lot of responsibility put on his shoulders for all the miscues that have happened. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. Okay, that's cool, April. Thank you. Appreciate you. Have fun with your granddaughter. Paul says, well, it was LD. Maybe Kayla will be the jailhouse snitch since she is using 2.5 hours in Perryville. She already talked, in my opinion, says Paige. In my opinion, LE law enforcement is building on it now. That very could be well possible, no doubt about it, Paige. Falls got you good. Yeah, that's very, very probable that she went ahead and talked to them. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, along with that, Sergeant Cross from Pima County Sheriff's Office also said that Nanos just would not let them do anything of the way they wanted to. And when asked by the interview team if why did they release the crime scene so soon, if he had any opinion on it, and he said because the administration wanted us to basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, the administration being the brass, the people at the top, nanos, lieutenants, so forth, that basically that they wanted them to hurry up and release it back to the family. That he felt that they were pressured into releasing the house, that they would constantly ask him, is the case solved? Is the case solved? Is the case solved? Well, hell, 87 days and the case still hasn't been solved, right? But Sergeant Cross, who works there at Pima County, said Nanos were telling them, the people that were investigating, to hurry up so they can go ahead and release the house back to the owner. Which they don't even have the owner around, right? No one knows where the owner's at. J-Bug, February 16 is a possible date for the Blue Charger being towed. Thank you so much, J-Bug. Appreciate you. Thank you for that sleuthing work. I will check it out. So, if it happened February the 16th when it got towed, and everything I read said that the vehicle, when I read, everything said that it was before the 13th. That's like 12 days. About 12 days that vehicle, the Blue Charger, could have literally was crashed. And that would be a good case scenario of the timing of Nancy being abducted on, late early morning of the 31st of January to the 1st of February. So it's not out of the question to think that those 12 days, within that 12-day frame, that's when that car crashed. And then the insurance company came out, and whoever ordered this, I believe it had to be the insurance company, because that's what was said, that the insurance company is the one who towed that vehicle to declare it a total loss. They just never said where they took it, but we can probably call this trucking company now that we have that name, and we can go ahead and try to ascertain. But the idea is that would make sense, that somewhere in that time period, it's very plausible, very, very plausible, that that car was involved in a crash accident. No doubt about it. And if that's the case, well, then there's a lot of time there when exactly you could say that vehicle was literally, could have been the vehicle that was used, and the woman who was screaming outside that window very possibly could have been Nancy. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it's very possible. The timing fits. It all fits. We just got to find out what, now the key is find out the 911 call, when it came in, and how long did it take the Pima County Sheriff's Office or any law enforcement agency to stop that vehicle. You know what I mean? Because if that call came in, it probably came out on not only in the sheriff's department radio, but probably also came on mutual aid, which is basically any agency in the area. If you see this vehicle, that's what mutual aid is just the areas of the police stations around that area. So they could have very been on mutual aid as well and come out. So we need to find out when the 911 call came in, and when did literally they stop that vehicle. Because Nanos said they stopped it, and it had nothing to do with Nancy's case. Okay, but how long was it? Was it an hour later, 2 hours later, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes? When was it that it was stopped? Because that'll tell you if they had enough time to take if a person had enough time to take a body out of a vehicle, sit it somewhere, leave, not thinking they're going to get stopped, and then all of a sudden, at whatever time they get stopped, okay, and then they get released, and then about a couple hours later, they go ahead and go back, pick up the body, take it to wherever they're going to bury it for permanent, and take it there and bury it. I still say it was a kidnapping gone wrong. No doubt in my mind. I'm still sticking to that theory. It was a kidnapping gone wrong. They wanted a payday. This was going to be an easy payday. Somewhere along the line, something went wrong, and she became unalive, and that's why they couldn't get their money. That's, to me, it's pretty well, that's exactly pretty much what probably happened, in my opinion. The key is who was all affiliated. We still got to figure out who was the ones. How did they get in? Did they get into the front door, the back door? Did they have a key? Did they not have a key? Agree, kidnapping gone wrong, says Paige. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. So now you got to ask, did they go in the front door or the back door? When it went wrong, what happened? Who was all involved? Was it one perp? Was it three perp? I still think it has to be 3 to 4 perp. No doubt about it. So there has to be 3 to 4 people involved. The driver, the lookout, person in the back, person in the front. That would be my suggestion. Page says LD, TC, A, and LOK. Kiki. Very possible. Very possible that we've already talked about the people that probably were involved in this. I know we probably seen the people that were already involved. I know we probably heard of the people that were involved. There's no doubt in my mind that we've already crossed that path of these people. You know, we've already crossed paths. You know, then you're not. That's not even putting in. That's not even throwing in there the latest with Richard, what his role is in all this. I mean, he gave some pretty damaging information, some very specific damaging information. So who's to say that he did not literally have something to do? All they have to do is check the lake to go ahead and rule him out or rule him in. Or people will definitely knowledge included in my list, no doubt about it. So so that's the whole purpose there. Is now who is the mastermind? Did someone leave the door unlocked? Yes. You know, you got to look at everybody. You can't just exclude anybody because there's nothing to be excluded about. You know, then who was staying at the house? Was someone staying at that beach at the pool house? Was somebody living there? We don't know. I mean, there's so much more. All this stuff should already come out, everybody. Understand that. A lot of this stuff already should have been come to a conclusion as to if anybody was staying at the house, at the pool house, if any family was in town, if any family members, all that information should already been coming out. It should already came out. They should already got that. Pay says they're covering for somebody. In my opinion, it's very possible. The idea is that there's so much there, and you wouldn't think, but when you start breaking it down, there is a lot. Pay says they are protecting someone. I mean, think about it. When you're there and you're doing the crime scene and you're doing the investigation, right, you're going to find out, was there anybody living in that pool house? You're going to check the pool house to see if there's any clues of someone sleeping there recently, eating there. Is any pans hot or cold? You know what I'm saying? Is there food on the table? Is there ever? You know what I'm saying? You're going to know if somebody was staying there. That's one clue. And then mentally and emotionally abusing us. Yes. And then on top of that, Cat Lady says the perp and or perps didn't get the camera from the pool house roof. Sure, that's very possible. And so now you look at that and you combine that with the cameras. They got the other cameras, right? Several other cameras in the house. They said there was cameras in the house. There was about 11 cameras around the property and on the roof. We know they took a lot of them cameras, so did they go through all of them cameras? Did they go through all that footage? You know these perps were not, I'm telling you right now, they were not professionals. I don't buy that one freaking bit. This was not professional people that did this. And I know it sounds crazy because people say, well, yeah, but they haven't got caught. Hey, look, every squirrel finds a nut. No doubt about it. And I'm sure that this was the perfect thing because they had a very inexperienced police department that was doing everything as far as the investigation. You know, no doubt in my mind, they were not professional. Okay? And this wasn't a hit. This was literally a ransom, in my opinion. It was a ransom for money. It was a kidnapping gone wrong. Or a ransom gone wrong, however you want to conclude it. So, that's what you're looking at now. You're looking at that now, and you're asking the question, why didn't they have all this information already? You know? Why haven't they had this information? Why hasn't this been put out there? Why hasn't this stuff literally come out? Why hasn't this information, why aren't they saying that they came into the front door or the back door? Why don't we know which way, you know, the son-in-law and the daughter Annie and Tommaso, which way they entered the house? Did they come in? They parked. They got the call. They went there. They checked. Did they come in the front door or the back door? They had to have known. I'm sure the PD or the investigating asked them, which way did you? What happened? Tell us when you got here. Which door did you come through? What did you check first? Where did you go first? You know, we called her mom. We yelled at for our mom. We yelled. We went out to the back door. We noticed the back door was open. It was jarred open with two planters holding the doors open, or the gate was like that. Okay, we thought that was kind of odd. We went to the back. We stepped off the porch and we started yelling for mom, for Nancy. No one came. No one said anything. At that time, we knew something was wrong. Isn't the perspective of Savannah's future ability to have a good life and a job paramount in this whole story? Yeah, it is, Gronsky, but God, man, that's deep when you're talking about family and any family for that matter. I wouldn't say it just because it's Savannah. In any family, I would look at that like, man, it's tough to go there. But you're right. Everything's plausible. Everything's on the table. No doubt about it. So now you're looking at that and you're asking the question, why don't they have that information out? How is it that we don't know? I'm not saying we're going to know for sure where the perps came out of, whether it was the front or the back, right? The blood spots are in the front. Logic would tell you it's probably the front. I'm asking just where did they enter from? Is there any type of anything that was left behind to signify that they came through the back door? Yeah, it very well could be. It could be a cover up. It could be. That's the problem. There's so many could be's. There's so many coincidences. There's so many stuff like that that's really is what's hampering the investigation. Combinate that with lack of experience, combinate that with a lack of information, and what do you have? A whole lot of fucking confusion. Excuse my language. Lisa says, not that Savannah is a reason for the perp. No, I get what you're saying. But that's really where we're at. So now we have to ask the question. How? Who? Why? What? When? Where? You know? We got some of those. You know? I mean, whose story, when you look at everybody's, defense as to who's trying to say they had nothing to do with it, whose really does seem like it's plausible that they don't have anything to do with it? They can't show you a photo of TC arriving at the house, dropping off the mother-in-law, right? That's the only reason he's in my playbook. Literally. Because they cannot show him, and he was the last person to see her. I mean, they can't show you or tell you anything about, when the Luke's car was crashed. When did that happen? What time were they stopped the blue car, the 911 call? They can't tell you that. Okay, we just now were able to, through Jenny's information, we were able to establish that they did find that car, or that car was going to be towed by this certain, what looks to be this flatbed, and then whose car it was that was fixing to get towed. It looks like, it appears like it was Luke's car, the blue Charger. Okay, but we don't have where it went to. Did the cops even check for forensics? Did they check for fingerprints? Could that have been the blue car? Could that be the reason why they got into that accident? We don't have none of that information. Zero. And that's crucial information. Kalela, I know they charged him for the trying to take literally all this advantage of the opportunity to capitalize on somebody else's misfortune. Does Cam have a criminal record? How are his past and present relationships? All that. Can they eliminate, literally, can they eliminate Zack? He was out of country. Was he in country? Was he out of country? Did he fly back? Did he not fly back? Was he in a charter plane? You know what I'm saying? There's so much there. Kiki and her boyfriend, did they have something to do with it? Were they a part of something? They definitely were out of place when they came there to do the photo shoot in front of Nancy's house. That was more of an insult than anything. So when you look at all these things, you ask yourself, what was it? What is that missing piece? And it all comes back to, we just didn't get any information. Literally. No information from Pima County Sheriff's Office and or the FBI. Gronsky says, I agree with Lisa that the family has a dark side. No, there's definitely some issues there. No doubt about it. We just don't know what issues, but they are some issues. Yeah, why is Savannah the spokesperson? Why is it not the older brother? Maybe he was in the military. Why isn't Annie, who was probably around her mother more than any one of them because they lived there, why is she not more speakative or talkative? You know? I mean, there's so much here. And the question once again remains why? Why are they not eliminating people of interest? And I mean eliminating as ruling out that they had anything to do with it. That's where we're at. We're at literally a crossroad. Then you hear everything today, like I heard with the interview room with a person who works at Pima County Sheriff's Office, who is a sergeant, literally. So he's been there for a while. Who are Nancy associates? Cat Lady says Annie is dark in my opinion, even her poetry, no doubt. You know, the Pima County sergeant who came on the interview room. What's the deal there? He's telling everything that's wrong, the lack of confidence that the deputies have. What is it? 241 to 0, lack of confidence, and they did request him to resign, the sheriff, and now the sheriff's not resigning. Now the council has gotten involved. You see what I'm saying? There's so much inconsistency and so much that has not been done. That's why we're having this issue. Gronsky S going back to work. I mean, yeah, maybe that's her getaway. I don't know. Maybe that's the way she processes her grief. I don't know. I couldn't do that. I probably wouldn't do that. But you know what I mean? There's so many inconsistencies. Why haven't they checked that lake? They say, oh, well, Rich is a nutcase. He's, he constantly sends us all this stuff and he's just so out there and he's just a wacko and all this kind of stuff. That's fine. But he gave you some very important tips, some very important information that you could literally verify. And that is how she was wrapped, what she was done, how she was placed in the water with what around it. You know what I'm saying? There's so much there. And yet it seems like it's not enough. Okay, why? Why is it enough? Just check the damn lake. You could at least eliminate that out of the equation. Hell, who knows what you would find at the bottom of the lake, right? Just common sense, everybody. So, I don't know. I don't have much more today, but that's what I'm talking about. That's why it is very important. The one thing we did get today, thanks to Jenny, the one thing we did get today is we got a possible trucking company who possibly towed the vehicle from Luke. Possibly. If that was the vehicle that was taken, possibly we had it, We just don't know who called for it. If it probably wasn't the police, then again, if it was the insurance company, where did they take it? Is it still around? Is it still possible? Can they still process that information? There's so much stuff going on, guys, and I'm afraid it's just because there's no information coming out that we just don't know anything crucial right now at this moment. The family is smart, not dumb, says Paige. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If you are new and you like to lie, please come be a part of this channel. Join. Be a devil pup. Bring your thoughts and ideas. That's what makes this channel great, is that everybody has a thought, everybody has an idea, and we can all learn from one of each other, and we can all become smarter with one another. No doubt about it. There must be a reason for the family odd behavior. Who knows? But if they don't check these leads out, every lead's important when you don't have a lot to go on. That should be a given. All right, everybody. With that, I want to tell you have a good night. Thank you all. I'm going to go ahead and end this live. Just note, it's all common sense, everybody. It's all common sense. You guys have done magnificent, and I thank you all for everything you have done and all the information and all your information that you've given. You've made me smarter. You've made others smarter, and likewise, they have made you smarter. Let's keep working at it, plugging away, and see what we can find in the near future. Cat Lady says definitely something wrong with some of Nancy's family. Have a great night, Casey, Dakin. Thank you, Paige. Everybody, thank you. With that, everybody, it's all common sense. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.